How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the channel, where today I'm going to be doing a little breakdown on the whole Ben Askren versus Jake Paul fight. Now, before I start this off, I just wanted to say, this whole card was a bit of a circus, and I think a lot of people understand that, The card says it starts at 9, it doesn't start till 9:30, and then there was the first fight, and by the time the second fight came around, we were waiting for an hour with all these dance shows and all these singers in a slap boxing match, and it was a little bit for my liking personally, but we are going to get right down into breaking down this fight as to what really happened, because I understand it was a very short fight, and it was a little bit, I don't think it should have been stopped right there. I thought that when Ben got knocked down, he did seem a little bit out of it, but anyways, we're going to get into that in a minute. We're going to start breaking down this fight. So Jake Paul, if you watch my breakdown and prediction of this fight, one of the things I said that Jake Paul needs to do is have a good jab. And that's exactly what he did in this fight. He mixed up jabs to the head and to the body specifically. Now, that's a very important note, because Jake Paul's jabs to the body conditioned Ben to drop his hands to take that overhand right hand that ended up getting the knockout. Now, Ben came out and he wasn't really aggressive. He wasn't really asserting himself, which I thought was very strange, because we all know that Jake Paul is the better puncher. I said that in the breakdown. In between the two, Jake Paul is the better puncher. Ben Askren was going to have to come forward, and you saw that for a brief moment, where he comes forward in the fight, he's pressuring Jake Paul, and Jake Paul he doesn't seem to handle pressure very well still. He seems to get a little bit panicky, likes to duck his head and throw that overhand right or a looping left hook. And Ben, so you saw when he was pressuring, that was when he did his best work, is what I wanted to say. Ben Askren's chin, I understand they did let me down a little bit, but here's the thing. Ben Askren, for one, has taken a lot of shots, especially in the UFC. He took a lot of shots, so that didn't help his chin. And there's something else to be said about the fact that Ben, in a lot of his fights, had to go through some sort of adversity, but most of the time, and I'm not counting his UFC, but in his UFC debut even, would come back to win. And that was where I kind of thought Ben could still win the fight. He would have to come forward, he would have to pressure Jake. Now, when Ben originally got knocked down by that overhand right, he got up, he didn't seem too out of it. If anything, he seemed okay, it wasn't really staggering around, and I think there was a bit of a confusion with Ben when it came to knowing the rules of the sport. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, Ben has never boxed before. We all know this. He got knocked down. Jake starts to walk towards Ben, and so what Ben does, he gets in his stance ready to protect himself, thinking the ref's going to start the fight. And the ref pushes Jake into the corner, so he pushes him into the corner, or more or less against the ropes. He's trying to get Ben to come forward and walk towards him when Ben was just standing there in his stance. He didn't really understand what was going on, I don't think. And that was when the ref decided to just stop the fight. And I thought it was a little bit weird. I didn't think Ben was too out of it. But in the end, he ended up calling it off. Probably saved Ben some brain damage for sure. But watching the post-fight press conference as well, I kind of noticed that people were one of the reporters asked Jake about fighting Tyron Woodley, or one of the other guys who fought early on the card who had been calling out Jake Paul, and he kind of just shook it off and went, don't don't talk about those people, stop asking me stupid questions, I don't know who those people are, type of thing. And honestly, I think Jake damn well knows who those people are. I just think he understands that he cannot just go into a fight with someone who's had a lot of professional boxing experience, or someone who's a way better boxer than Ben Askren. But at the end of the day, it was what it was. Ben Askren fought for 2 minutes and got a $500K payout, so, there's that. Jake Paul did as well. I don't know how much Jake Paul made off this fight, but anyways, that's pretty much it for the breakdown of this fight. If you guys enjoyed, make sure to leave a thumbs up, and I'll see you guys in the next one.